think we can do it as natural
I
as we
look,
can.
listen, just let's go.
It is what it is. Yo, what up, Frames and
Sizzles, what's up?
yo? We in here with Hannibal.
The
Animal.
man.
Hannibal the beat animal. That's the closest.
I fucked it up.
Close
Fucked it
enough.
up. Fucked
Close
it up.
enough. I think that's.
I did it on purpose because I like it better when he says it.
In the dugout with the big steppers, jalapenos, no lemon pepper. Big K, that's a big letter. Hot boy, I burn leather. Love the Jeep, but the Porsche better. Top down in any weather. Red hot, love the chili peppers. Jalapenos, no lemon pepper. In the dugout with the big steppers, jalapenos, no lemon pepper. Big K, that's a big letter. Hot boy, I burn leather. Love the Jeep, but the Porsche better. Top down in any weather. Red hot, love the chili peppers. Jalapenos, no lemon pepper. In the dugout, I'm a big stepper. Slide home if you knew better. Real deal, I'm a go-getter.
Yes, Hannibal the beat animal. Getting a chance to be in here with Frames and Sizzles. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man? Glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, man. Feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, you heard of us, huh?
Yeah. So, I'm a part of a production team. It's called the ATL Track Monsters. It's a beat battle collective, and one of the teams, the Tidewater Mix Gods, a bunch like them and a bunch of their producers follow you guys. So I was already following y'all because they were following y'all. So then I was like, so when Stroud called me and said, "Hey man, can you come down to Grand Hustle tonight?" I was like, "Shit, yeah," just like So I was glad he called. So then it was like, yeah. And then when he told me it was y'all, I was like, oh shit, okay. Frames and Sizzle, shit, let's get it.
That's what's up, man. It's always going somewhere and finding somebody that maybe knows about you. Has a little bit at least to know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when somebody like this, with the math and everything, the energy, that just makes it super dope, right?
Man.
Yeah. So you're a producer?
Yes, I am a music producer. Yeah, man. I've been doing beats for almost 24 years. 24 years since the first time somebody cut me a check to do music. Yeah.
Damn, that's dope, bro.
Yeah, doing it for a hot minute, man. So yeah.
What's your favorite part about it?
My favorite part of being a music producer. So it's actually very selfish. It's just I like making stuff that makes people feel stuff. So like if I make a beat that makes somebody like super happy or starts crying or make them want to dance, that's what I like. I like the idea that you can, I don't want to say control people's emotions, that you can influence people's emotions with your sounds. Like just that a collection of chord changes or melodies or instruments or harmonies or dissonance will just, when people hear it, it just moves them in a way. Like, and I love that it can, transcend like those language barriers. So it's like I could play beats for somebody in Japan. He didn't speak English, I don't speak Japanese, and he hear them beats and be like, man, this shit fire. But he say that in Japanese.
So
it just,
we just can't say that.
Right. It's just I don't know. Right. So yeah, that's what I love about it. And then just over the years, it is just I didn't. The funny thing is, I didn't think I was gonna be a producer. When I went to college, I went to the University of New Orleans, and I ended up getting a degree in piano performance. I had started off as a classical major and switched over to jazz, and then eventually just was like piano proficiency. But when I was in college and I had went to school to be a journalism major because I was always a writer. I got a bunch of shit published. So I just thought, okay, well, journalism makes the most sense. And the year I started going to UNO, they had just disbanded their journalism program. So I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then somebody that I went to high school with was like, oh, well, I figured you were here on a music scholarship. So, have you thought about getting into the music department? And I was like, I hadn't given it any serious thought because I always played by ear, but I had no formal training. And I was good, but I was good and I didn't realize how good I was. But I would see other people that I knew that were much better pianists than I was. So I kind of was just like, it was just something fun that I enjoyed. And then they was like, all right, well, you have to audition for the music department, right? So I auditioned for the music department, and the head of the music department at the time was Ellis Marcellus. Ellis Marcellus, y'all don't know, he's a jazz legend. He's Wynton Bradford, Wynton Marcellus's father, Bradford Marcellus, Jason Marcellus' father. So yeah, he's like a big deal. And it was like, and he actually just died year before last. So rest in peace, Ellis. But I went to audition, and he was like, all right, play me something. So I played a song that I had written when I was in high school, right? And I played the song, and he asked me, he's like, man, that's really good. He's like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's this thing I wrote in high school. He's like, you wrote this? And it's like, yeah. He's like, wait, you wrote all of this? Like, you all the notes? I just said, yeah, I did all that. So then he put some sheet music in front of me and was like, play this. I'm looking at that shit's fucking Greek. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this fucking ampersand in the corner and then fucking need a long. I don't know. None of that. None of that. So then he went and had a conversation with like the other heads of the music department, and I could hear them arguing through the door, right? I could hear like the head of the classical department like yelling, he doesn't even know how to read music. And then Ellis came out and was like, all right, we'll take you into the music department, but you have to go through like a year of like remedial classes first. And then after that, we'll reassess after a year. And I told myself if they were willing to accept me into the music department, I would try to do it for real. Right. And then I met my best friend. He and I met in college over a mutual love of Popeye's Chicken and Wu-Tang Clan. Hey. And then, off of the strength of that, he and I started working together. And then, like, one of the first beats we ever made, we sold. Like somebody like gave us money for it. And I was like, you'll give me money for this? Right. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit. It was like, yeah, October 1998, and just been doing it ever since. That was the first check we got, and then that was not the last. And we just kept going.
That's dope, bro.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. The beat battles.
Yeah, man.
I heard you up there in the beat battles. You got the wins. Like.
Yes. I have more beat battle wins than anybody else on the planet. I've won 41 beat battles. Right. I think the person closest to me has 23 battles. They got yeah, I know, right? It's look. First off, it's hard winning that many battles. Like that's talking about like so. Beat battle culture, for people who don't know, like beat battles are a lot like rap battles, but like instead of it being two rappers that go on stage and then rap against each other and in the crowd or a panel of judges to pick the winner, beat battles is it's the same thing but with beats. So it's like two producers go on stage, they'll typically play pre-made beats that they made, and then the crowd or a panel of judges will pick who the winner is. And and I just started running the table on that shit. And it was like in the beginning, like every venue you would go to, like so I started battling here in Atlanta. Every venue you would go to would like a very specific type of beat. So certain venues only wanted trap beats, right? Or South beats. It was before trap beats was like a real thing, right? So they only wanted down South beats. Then you would go to another venue that only wanted West Coast beats. Or you would go to another venue where they only want sampled like East Coast beats. Right. Or you go to another venue where all they want is like popular flips. Right. So it's like, oh, let me see if you can sample The Price is Right, or let me see what you can do with this Power Rangers theme or whatever like that, right? So I wanted to be the best. So I would literally like make a set of beats for each venue. Right. So it's like, so when I go into this place, I'm going to have the West Coast beats for this place. So most battlers would stick to like the venue or the battles that they were comfortable with. Right. And I was like, fuck that. I want to win all of them. I want to win. I'm trying to win the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills challenge, the rookie game. I'm going to be the MVP and all stuff. I'm trying to win all that shit. Offensive player of the year, defensive player, everything. I want to run the table. So that way nobody could say that I'm not the best. Right. You know, because like when I first got out here to Atlanta from New Orleans, Atlanta was like they wouldn't show me no love. It would for a while. So I had to kind of like, and so part of me battling was that I had a kind of chip on my shoulder. And I was like, just, because I felt like the music community wasn't giving me the respect I deserved. Right. And I was like, I'm talented. All you have to do is listen to the music. And what would happen is we would tell, me and my production team, Ace One to Johnny Brasco, would tell people that we were from New Orleans. And as soon as we told them that shit, they would hear everything from the lens of, oh, well, I can hear that New Orleans bounce. Right, this kind of sound like some Manny Fresh shit. This sound like some Masterpiece shit. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It didn't matter what I play. It could be like some straight up East Coast, like Havoc sounding, Mobb Deep, Alchemist sounding beats. And these motherfuckers would just be like, yeah, I can hear that Manny Fresh in it. So when doing the beat battles, I had a chip on my shoulder and I had a point to prove. So I was like, yeah, whoever you feel like is the best person in the room, that's who I want first. And it just started tearing heads off, man. And then, look where we at now. And here I am now, chilling with y'all at Grand Hustle.
Floyd Mayweather beat battles, huh?
Yeah, man. I've been in a lot of wars with a lot of people. I battled Big Crit.
Oh, word?
Yeah. He's done multiple interviews talking about battling me.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, he's on Sway. He got a Sway in the Morning interview where he talks about me. He's got he just did a podcast like a week ago where he
I saw that one.
Yeah, he mentioned me on there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's interesting because he doesn't mention me by name, but he was like, yeah, I went up against this producer. He was wearing a mask. He was dancing around on stage. You know what I'm saying? Just talking a little spicy, Crit.
Right.
You was talking a little spicy, Big Crit, okay? And here's what's crazy about the Crit shit, right? When I battled him, he wasn't Big Crit yet then. So I think he was going by the name Critical or something like that, Critical Beats or something like that, right? Battled him, beat him, and his shit was dope. And then like years later, I find out who Big Crit is, right? And I'm listening to his music and he's dope. Like he's super dope. And then I hear this song called As Small as a Giant. Right? And I was like, oh, that was it for me. I was like, this nigga is incredible, right? So then I'm watching years later, somebody forwards me the Sway in the Morning interview. And he's talking to Sway, and somebody asked him, how'd you come up with As Small as a Giant? He said, oh, I did this beat battle in Atlanta, and I went up against this guy wearing a mask. And he beat me, and then after that, I went home. I was mad I made As Small as a Giant. So then come to find out that, one of my favorite Big Crit records was influenced by him. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It was amazing.
That's dope though.
That's I'm gonna forward y'all the clips. I'm gonna forward y'all the clips to both joints. Yeah, it's just crazy.
We're gonna have to find Crit next week. We gotta bring y'all together.
Listen to every story, right?
Yeah, listen. I've heard him talk about it a couple times, and it's always a little spicy. It's just a little spicy. It's not like super spicy.
Right.
It's not like the Popeyes chicken sandwich. It's like the KFC chicken sandwich. It's just a little spice. Right. It's just a little Tabasco in that mayonnaise. That's all. So it's all good.
That's what's up, though, man. That's what's up. At least he's talking about it.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But yeah, I've battled a lot of people over the years, man, and my career is where it is today. Right. You know, from just being consistent with my work ethic and just using the beat battles to like platform myself and my production team to more opportunities. Like everybody I've met over the last couple years, every opportunity has almost exclusively come from, in some form or fashion, from beat battles. Right. Like I met Stroud at a beat battle. And then I met him, and he was like, yo, this is dope. I want you to come to Grand Hustle. And then came down there, played him a bunch of joints, and then we worked for a while. And then Stroud ended up getting me and my production team our first placement. Yeah.
Shout out to Stroud.
Yeah. Yes, he got us a Stroud. He got us a record. It was with Fantasia Barrino's brother, Rico Barrino, when he was over at Grand Hustle. And this was right after, like, Rico had just did a record. It's produced by Mr. Hankey. It's called California. Yeah, the California joint. Hey, getting that work in California. And then Rico had just did that. He had a bunch of record labels that was trying to sign him. And then the next record he did with us. Right? And then just tell you what a genuine dude Stroud is. Stroud called me one day. I'm at my house. He's like, hey, man, come to the studio. Bring some beats. He don't say nothing else. He just said, come to the studio, bring some beats. Okay. So I go over to the other studio. And I pull up and I get in the room and, you know, Rico Barrino's there. B.O.B. is there. One of the dudes from Travis Porter is there. B. Rich, Kevin Gates' manager, is there. There's like a bunch of people in the room. And it was like, all right, play some shit. Okay. So I went to play the first beat. And I played the first beat, and it was like this kind of like gospel-y sounding joint. And I wasn't even trying to play that beat. I was trying to get to something else. Right. Accidentally played that, and they heard that shit. Was like, whoa, what was that? It's like, yeah, give us that. And then as I'm trying to figure out what beat to play, then I played like I just made this blues beat. Right? It's no rap shit. It's just a blues song, right? Because I was like, man, I ain't done a blues record in a minute. So made this blues record. Me and my production team made this blues record. They heard it, and it was like, that shit's fire. Give us both these beats. And then they very politely asked me to get the fuck out the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. A week later, Stroud calls me, and he said, hey, man, we got one. And then so I come back to the studio, and he plays me the Rico Barrino song. The song's called Pray For Me. It's incredible. Dope. It's super incredible. Years later, I ran into Hannah Kang from Grand Hustle. Beautiful woman, beautiful soul, great person. And we would just randomly. Matter of fact, Grand Hustle was doing a beat battle, so she was interviewing all of the talent first. And this was like my second or third time meeting her, but she didn't remember me from none of the other times we met. And then we were talking, and when I told her, she asked, "Oh, do you guys have any? Does anybody in the room have any placements?" Right. And I was like, "Oh, I got a couple. I actually, Stroud got me a joint with Rico Barrino called Pray For Me," and she almost cried when she found out that we did that record. She was like, "Yo, I love that fucking song. I listen to that shit like every day." It just, shit's crazy. It was dope. It was very dope.
Right. Super dope. You got stories for. I'm sure you got stories for days.
Yeah. Like, lots.
Just
lots and lots of stories.
24 years of catching a check for, you know what I'm saying?
Something you love to do.
Yeah. And I've created a lot of opportunities. I've fucked up a lot of opportunities too.
Right.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot. Not especially when I talk to people younger, I try to like give them the game in a way that nobody gave it to me. Like because I had opportunities. I had the opportunity to work with Kendrick Lamar before he blew up, and I passed on it. I have to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like not and my production team, we talk about that shit all the time. It's like, yeah, I fucked that up. We had a chance to work with Mike Jones before he blew up, and I was the one that passed on the shit. Right. Nipsey Hussle tried to, so Nipsey tried to get beats. I did a beat battle. It was called the Soundtrack Beat Battle in Nashville, Tennessee. It was hosted by thrown by this woman named Coco. And I ended up getting fucked over in the contest, and and Nipsey was one of the judges. This was 2010. Nipsey was one of the judges, and then after the battle, I walked off stage, and Nipsey came up to me and was like, "Hey, cuz, them beats you played was fire though, man. You can't send me them shits." I was like, I told Nipsey Hussle he can go fuck himself.
Damn.
Yeah. Cause I was mad, cause I was like, cause I had driven from Atlanta to Nashville and then got hosed on some bullshit, and I was pissed off. And then the dude that was part of the team that hosed me then turned around and asked me for beats. I was pissed off, right? What's that shit Charlamagne always say? Don't make like permanent decisions on temporary feelings or something like that. Yeah, and that was a terrible decision. You know what I'm saying? Not only because of that, but just. Like even if he wasn't Nipsey, even if he didn't go on to become Nipsey, that wasn't any way for me to conduct business. And that ended up hurting me and my team. So there's a lot of it's just like I learned a lot over the years, So
that's good. It's good that you see that and you're able to go you know what I'm saying, and kind of pass that on to the next generation of people or the next person that's trying to learn.
Yeah. Don't fight. If you're gonna make a mistake, make an all new mistake. You know what I'm saying? Be the first person to sign all your publishing to aliens or some shit. Don't make the same mistake that Hammer and TLC made. Make new mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So I try to pass it on as much as I can.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Definitely. We're going to wrap things up in here.
Yes. Right.
Super dope having you in, man.
Thank you.
Doing the interview,
getting
to meet
fellas.
you.
Yes,
I'm going to get on there. We talked about it earlier. I'm going to order a mask. I don't think we talked about this time. I'm letting y'all know I'm going to get me a mask because that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nah, man. Anything you want to,
Yes,
on the camera?
I do. I will. I'm gonna shout out everybody I'm working with right now. Shout out to first and foremost to my production team, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be the guy. I am just the face of the company, which is hilarious because I wear a mask. But Team MFN, we've been making beats for 20. This will be our 24th year. Shout out to Ace Wonder, Johnny Facebook Famous Brasco, and my brothers. Shout out to my writing team, Cole Love, who is a phenomenally gifted writer. Slayla and Antoine, Ash Pixie, y'all are amazing. Love working with y'all. I can't wait for us to make some more money. The ATL Track Monsters, everybody, Be Ready, Outer Rich, Asaya Dio, Low Rated Producer, Sid Wines, Sean Hibbler, the new guy, MVP Raz, and MVP Raz Richie, Raphael Capone. ATL Track Monster. And then I have a podcast, Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube. We broadcast on YouTube. Matter of fact, I want to have y'all on our show. So we have Frames and Sizzle come hang out with Hannibal and Monty on the Shit Show. That we can do. We'll set it up. That's what's up. And so shout out to my podcast partner Monty. We just entered into our 3rd year of doing the show. And having fun, making money with my friends.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Right?
Yeah.
Living life, having fun, making money.
That's right.
With your friends.
It is. Yeah.
All right.
We appreciate you for coming through, bro. Hey, it's been nothing but love.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. I'm glad y'all had me, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, and if you ever up in the area, holla at us.
Look, say less. Like I said, look, when I get in the studio with Pharrell, Timbaland, Chad Hugo, okay, I'm calling y'all to pull up,
Oh.
okay?
We will.
So we
what we do.
get that shit documented.
We might have to set it up for
I know,
him,
right?
you know.
Something
Listen,
like that.
Yeah,
I
a
know,
couple
right?
people we can call.
Yeah, set that shit. Get the cameras right. Let's get it all, man. Yeah.
All right, man, shit, that's what's up. Y'all make sure to go follow Hannibal, the Beat Animal. Yeah, follow him on Instagram. Is it just Hannibal or?
It's a Hannibal MFN. That's HANNIBAL MFN. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And if you like what you see and what we do, hit the subscribe button. Follow
And like.
The Frame Show.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Frame Show for sure. Like frames. Yeah. I'll be cool. I'll give me a mask like him.